My parents banned me from my sister's wedding, so I vanished months later, a scandal. Shocked our town, now they're begging me to come home, but I'm done. I'm Megan Rose Parker, 28 years old. And for as long as I can remember, I've been the shadow in my own family. My sister was the golden star, the pride of my parents. Me. I was the afterthought, the mistake they tolerated but never celebrated. The breaking point came the day before her wedding in Woodhaven, Kansas. I had spent weeks preparing every detail, late nights making decorations, double-checking, orders, praying that maybe this time they would notice me. But when I carried the last box of centerpieces into our living room, I realized one was missing. A small mistake, an honest slip after weeks of exhaustion. Trisha. My mother spotted it instantly. Her eyes narrowed, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. You forgot. Jessica deserves perfection, and you've ruined it. Again, my father didn't soften the blow. His eyes were cold, his voice steady like a judge delivering a sentence, the greatest gift you could give your sister's wedding to disappear from this family permanently. Those words hit harder than anything I'd ever heard. My chest tightened, my hands trembled. And for a moment, I felt every year of rejection crashing down on me. Jessica stood nearby silent, not defending me, not even looking at me. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just sat the box down, grabbed my keys, and walked out. Door slammed behind me, not just closing on that house, but on a lifetime of trying to belong. And as I drove away, one thought kept burning in my mind. If they wanted me, gone, maybe disappearing was the only way I could finally be free. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you're listening in the comments. Growing up in Woodhaven, our house looked perfect from the outside. A white porch-trimmed lawn, the kind of place neighbors waved it with admiration behind those doors. Perfection belonged only to my sister Jessica. She was 4 years older, a natural achiever, straight-A's trophies, leadership roles, everything she touched turned to gold. My mother, Patricia, would be met her retelling Jessica's victories at every dinner. Your sister is a natural leader. She'd say, her eyes glowing with pride. My father, Michael, would nod in quiet agreement, adding, she's everything we hoped for. Then there was me. When I won an art contest at 8, Trisha barely glanced at the certificate, cute hobby. She muttered, before announcing Jessica's math award was the real accomplishment. When we fought over toys or swings, Jessica always won. If I protested, Patricia scolded me for being selfish, while Michael simply patted my shoulder later with one half-hearted. Let it go, kiddo. Family harmony matters. That was the pattern. Patricia's sharp tongue cut me down. Michael's silence sealed. My place is second best. By middle school, I stopped trying to shine. Why compete when the winner was already chosen? Tucked away my own dreams. A marketing career may be a move to the city, and convinced myself being the dependable, quiet daughter would earn love someday. Truth was clear. No matter what I gave, I would always be invisible. When Jessica announced her engagement, I saw a chance. Maybe my last, to finally earn a place in my parents' heart. So I threw myself into planning her wedding as if my life depended on it. Every spare moment went into the details. I negotiated with vendors late at night, designed custom place cards by hand, and even spent my savings on a vintage sapphire necklace I thought Jessica would treasure forever. I convinced myself that if I made her day perfect, they might finally say the words I had chased all my life. Good job, Megan. But my parents only sharpened their criticism. Patricia flipped through the catering menu. I had carefully arranged. This is fine, but your sister would have picked something more elegant. Michael, eyes still on his accounting ledger, muttered, don't mess this up. She deserves perfection. Jessica herself barely cared, too busy with her corporate job in the city. Her replies were vague. Texts, looks fine, or whatever. You think? At dinners, she smiled at my parents. Questions about her promotion while ignoring the binder of plans I carried in my lap. Her fiancé David scrolled on his phone, detached from the chaos. So I pushed forward. The barn venue was booked. The photographer lined up the decorations ready. I told myself their approval was just one moment away, but then came the missing box, one oversight, one fragile slip. Patricia's voice cut through the air like a whip. You're careless, always have been. Michael's verdict followed, cold and final. Disappear from this family permanently. I set the box down, turned, and walked out. The door slammed behind me, a sound that marked the end of a lifetime of begging to belong. That night, I sat alone at my kitchen table, their words echoing in my head like a cruel verdict. Disappear from our family permanently. For years, I had swallowed insults, begged for scraps of affection, convinced myself that loyalty would someday buy love. But in that moment, clarity hit me sharper than their anger ever had. They didn't want me. For the first time, I realized I didn't have to want them either, so I made a choice, not to cry, not to beg, but to vanish. The next morning, I called a real estate agent and sold my apartment at a loss. Just for speed. I met with a lawyer and froze the joint accounts. I had spent years contributing to ensuring my parents couldn't drain away the last of my sacrifices. Then I resigned from my job, my voice calm as I ended 9 years with one short phone call. When it came time to pack, I didn't take much, a few clothes, my laptop, an old journal, and the necklace. My art teacher once gave me everything else: furniture, dishes, even memories I left behind. 2 suitcases in my trunk and no destination set. I turned the ignition. I wasn't running away. I was breaking free. I drove for days, chasing distance more than destination, until I found myself in Tidewater, South Carolina. A quiet coastal town where the air smelled of salt and the streets felt untouched by my past. Here, I decided to start over, even with something as small as my name. I signed the lease on a weathered little cottage under Elaine Parker, using my middle name like a shield between who I was and who I wanted to be. Cottage wasn't perfect: creaky floors, leaky faucets, windows that stuck in the humid air, but it was mine. No one there looked at me with disappointment. No one demanded I fix their problems. For the first time, silence felt like freedom to survive. I built a small freelancing website and began taking marketing gigs online. Projects were modest logos, social media posts. Each one reminded me of something I had almost forgotten. My skills had value even without my family's approval. One morning at a cafe called Saltwater Brew, I met Maria, the owner. She handed me coffee with a warm smile and said, "New face Tidewater is good for fresh starts." Her words, so casual yet kind, caught me off guard. I wasn't used to strangers offering acceptance so freely on the porch of my cottage, with the marsh stretching out before me. I felt something I had never known in Woodhaven: peace, fragile, but real. Just when I started to breathe in Tidewater, my past clawed its way back. One evening, my old phone buzzed with a notification from a community page in Woodhaven. There it was. Patricia posted for the whole town to see my daughter abandoned us and stole family money, ruining Jessica's wedding. The comments were brutal. Michael timed in, trusted her, and she betrayed us. Strangers I'd never met shared the lies, painting me as a thief and a heartless daughter. Jessica didn't defend me publicly. Instead, she sent a private message. "You didn't have to abandon us like this." The same silence she had shown in that living room dressed up now is guilt. I checked with Stephen, my lawyer, to confirm the truth. Trust was intact. My contributions were covering Patricia medical bills and utilities, but her attempts to withdraw thousands for wedding expenses had been blocked. The facts were on my side, but facts don't always quiet gossip. Then came Patricia's message. "Your mother's in the hospital, come home." For a moment, my chest tightened until Dr. Evans, her doctor, emailed me privately. "Your mother is stable. It's emotional stress, not life-threatening." Another ploy, another crisis staged to reel me back. Jessica followed with an apology, her subject lying timid. "I'm sorry." She admitted our parents were out of line but begged me to call. Yet I couldn't forget her silence when I needed her most. The guilt tried to creep in, whispering that I was cruel. This time I held firm. I had broken free and I wasn't going back. Weeks turned into months, and Tidewater slowly became more than just a hiding place. Came home. My freelance work grew. Maria's cafe became a safe haven, and the silence that once scared me now felt like freedom. But the shadows of Woodhaven still tried to reach me. Attrition's last text was short: "Where family come home." Jessica sent one more email. "I miss you." Michael has always stayed silent. This time I didn't hesitate. I deleted the messages without reply. My worth no longer depended on people who never saw it in the first place. One evening, sitting on the porch of my little cottage, I watched the marsh glow in the sunset. For the first time in my life, I felt whole, not because someone else finally approved of me, because I had chosen myself. That's when I understood. I hadn't disappeared to punish them. I had disappeared to save myself. Sometimes the bravest choice isn't fighting to stay in a toxic family, walking away, loving yourself. Enough to choose peace over chains, survival over silence, because true family doesn't destroy you. And if it does, you're allowed to build a new one. Life teaches us that love isn't proven by blood alone, proven by respect, kindness, and the space we give each other to grow. Megan's story reminds us of something many are too afraid to admit. Sometimes the people we call family can also be the ones who wound us the most. But here's the truth. Walking away isn't weakness, courage. It's the moment you decide that your peace, your dignity, and your happiness matter as much as anyone else's. Megan didn't vanish to punish her parents. She left to protect the part of herself that still wanted to live, to dream, to be free. And that's the lesson for all of us. You are not obligated to stay in places where you are only tolerated, not loved. Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. Because when you finally step away from what breaks you, open the door to what can heal you. If you've ever felt invisible, forgotten, or unloved, remember this: your worth is not defined by who rejects you. Your worth shines brightest when you have the strength to start over and choose peace.